What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. That's the one, the only Scott Savage. Scott, what's going on, man?
Oh man, I'm having a crazy time trying to limit the games that I'm interested in right now. It is very difficult. Friends on the friends list playing Valhalla.
Valhalla? Really?
I have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I've not yet played it to completion.
What did I'm like 150 hours, if not more, into that game. About 150 hours, and then ended. I went, what? That was bring on Mirage. I'm ready for a new one. But
that's what I'm ready for.
Dude, let's get into where people can follow us each and every day. First of all, hit us up over on Twitter, the official ITG. And then you can join us live over on YouTube at Inside the Game Official, twitch.tv/the official ITG. Make sure you swing by our website later if you can't join us when we're live, insidethegame.ca. The podcast services, thanks to our friends over at Fired Up Network. And Scott, one of the biggest platforms around for us is our television platforms. Thanks to our friends over at ESTV, Roku, Amazon Prime, Samsung Plus, Game Plus. Dude, there's so much more. So make sure if you can't, well, you should be, just find us somewhere. We are everywhere. How about that?
Yep, throw a dart.
you can find us somewhere. Just look up Inside the Game. We're going to be there. If we're not, then you should tell us and then we'll come. So there, Scott, let's get into it. As Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 2 may have just leaked. What games are coming next? Oh, buddy, let's go. Yeah, it's probably what you predicted, because what's left. Xbox Series X and the Game Pass prices are going up. And Immortals of Aveum gets a new date closer to Starfield. Uh-oh. No.
Oh, no.
Why would you do that to yourselves?
Yeah, you have the opportunity. You have to move it. Why not move it anyways?
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, let's get into it. It's Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 2. Games may have been leaked via the official website.
Well, that sounds legitimate to me.
Oh man, who hit the button at the wrong time today? This is Connor Makar over at VG247. Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Solid 5, and Peace Walker may all be coming if some stray buttons are to be believed. The games, including the Metal Gear Solid Volume 2 collection, may have been leaked on the official Metal Gear Solid website if some buttons found in the website's HTML code are to be believed. By inspecting the page, anyone can see a list of buttons on the Metal Gear Solid timeline page. While some are active, working buttons, placeholder buttons for Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Solid 5, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker are also present. This was first spotted by a Nitroid on Twitter, who posted their findings online alongside a list of contextual information that further complicates the matters. The presence of a few lines of HTML code isn't a smoking gun, but there are some reasons why it could be early indicator of games to come. Scott, this only makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, we know that a Volume 2 is coming, and like you said, how many titles does that really leave out? So far, it seems like the only mention that I have not seen yet is Metal Gear Survive, and
well, that's with good reason.
Nobody wants that one.
No, nobody does want that. No. I don't think Konami even wants that. The other one absent, obviously, in the collection is Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, Delta, they're calling it, which makes total sense, right? They're not going to have it there because they're working on a complete remake from the ground up. There's two sides to it. Here's kind of where I'm at. With Metal Gear Solid, right? It's been so long since we've had a new Metal Gear game. We've got Death Stranding now taking its place, kind of, in Kojima's lineage, right?
2015 was the Metal Gear Solid 5, I believe, right?
Yeah, about that. So that's, dude, it's been a while, for sure. But if we're getting into the Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta remake, why not start remaking all of the Metal Gears? This is a franchise that can go on for years to come just by making complete ground up remakes. If you're working in-house, right? So they're working in-house right now with Konami, and there was, I can't remember off the top of my head who the other studio was that was helping, which it escapes me, which is unfortunate because they're a great studio that's been around for a long time and worked on some massive projects. So to have them help out, then here's the thing. Let's get lined up, Scott, right? You get Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta remake in production. It's coming. Okay, cool. Then let's go back to Metal Gear 1, give it to Blue Point, and now all of a sudden we're in this time loop of here comes the Metal Gear Solid Delta remake and say 2 years. Scott, I don't think we get this for another 2 years, right? All we saw was a CG trailer. That's great. Yeah, we all knew it was coming, so they just had to get it out of the way and say, hey, we're working on it. Like, we know. But if you line this up then you get the other one also in production with Blue Point, who are world-renowned remake masterminds, we'll call them, because they are fantastic. They made some of the best remakes ever played. Give it to them, allow them to make the next one from the ground up. Then you have like a 2-year life cycle. Give us the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. Let us sit on that for a year, 2 years maybe, and then line it up with Blue Point to drop their next one. Dude, we don't know. Nobody knows what Blue Point's working on. That's the other side of it too. Nobody knows what they're working on. But if Metal Gear Solid 4 is in Volume 2, that only makes sense. But the collection is there for get people intrigued. But why not just start making them all from the ground up? When they announced Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 1, I was like, okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? But the more hype went to the remake of 3. So why wouldn't you just start remaking them? Konami needs their foot back in the door here when it comes to us as gamers, wanting them to return with Metal Gear. And I think they're doing it right. But with the Volume collection, we've seen these collections over and over again, Scott.
Yeah, there's still plenty of room, but this will, however, be the only chance of getting Metal Gear Solid 4 on an Xbox console. So I don't want to poke too many holes in the sales there because I'm happy to see that come along in any format. But you raise a good point though. Do you do Twin Snakes and remaster that because Twin Snakes was already kind of a director's cut?
Yeah.
And then, or do you just go straight to Sons of Liberty? Do number 2 again? Because that's what everybody. That's the big standout for everybody. Well, like maybe in my age category, 2 was the one that kind of introduced you.
Calling me old again, Scott. It's fine. It's you got to start over, I think, right? If they're going in the timeline, and the timeline is all over the place when it comes to Metal Gear, but you're
right though,
right, dude. It's
chronologically.
There's opportunities here, right? To line it all up. When it came out, it was the way Kojima produced the games. It's like, okay, now we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and we're going to jump back in time here, and then we're going to move forward here. Great. But now here's the opportunity if you're going to remake them, right? It starts with Metal Gear Solid 3. Believe it or not, if everybody isn't in tune to the world of Metal Gear, it actually started at 3 Snake Eater and then goes back in time. So it's kind of one of those time loops, Scott, and an opportunity here for Konami to come out and start nailing it. They're already bringing back Silent Hill, right? They're already bringing back some of their Castlevania, some of their beloved titles that people have been waiting on for so long. It's nice to see them starting to return, bringing the fans what they've been wanting for, and then start getting a new fan base with Metal Gear. After you make all these Metal Gears, again, remakes, not volume collections, but remakes, then presents the opportunity to either continue on or you just ride Kojima's legacy.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see them continue on without Kojima or
terrifies
separate
everybody.
Entities. Yeah, that's scary for me. As much as I would love anything that comes from Kojima.
Yeah. Well, man, I don't know. Death Stranding, I didn't feel that one, right? And a lot of people are like, you love it or you hate it. And I get Kojima wants to branch out. We see a lot of studios now wanting to branch out, get away from things they've done for so long. Kojima didn't even want to do Metal Gear Solid 5. But yet Konami forced his hand. So you see him branch out and go away from it. And it makes sense. But at the end of the day, man, Metal Gear was my childhood game that really kind of elevated where my life would be taken into the world of video games, right? And here we are today. So
it's a huge deal. Well, I think from a gaming perspective, I had that similar experience with Splinter Cell.
Man, Sam Fisher. When do you think we get the next Splinter Cell game? How far off are we?
I keep getting advertisements on my phone about hiring positions for that project at Ubisoft Toronto, which makes me think we're still a while away.
So we have to be 6-7 years. That hurts, man. To think about.
It feels so far away.
Yeah, it does feel so far away. I've never.
Very well.
Kyle says he's never played Metal Gear. Are you serious? Kyle, are you serious? You've never played a Metal Gear game at all? Huh.
That's a big deal.
Wow, that
good
is
news. There's many of them.
Oh, wow. Well, then you'll have to play the remake. Yeah, he's like, wow, Kyle, wow. I am blown away, dude. Huh. That's a gap I thought you'd never tell me about. I guess I never expected that one from you. It kind of hurts.
Embarrassing.
Well, then I honestly start at the remake when they come out with the remake, and then gives you your opportunity to get into Metal Gear and see if you like it. Dude, Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater was such a bit of a shift from Metal Gear 1 and 2, because it all of a sudden now you're at grass level, hiding in the grass as the enemy approached you, and then you got camo and all that plays into how your stealth level was either up or lower and your percentage of being able to sneak in on the enemy. It was such a cool game. Man, man. Kyle, I'm excited for you to play that, dude.
You get the enemy radios and you can call in airstrikes on their own positions.
What a game. Oh, man, I can't wait. But we're going to be waiting at least 2 or 3 years before we get it. So good thing we have other things to play. Here's some unfortunate news, though, Scott. Microsoft is hiking the price of Xbox Series X and Xbox Game Pass. Tom Warren at The Verge. Microsoft is increasing the Xbox Series X prices in most countries in August, apart from the US, Japan, Chile, Brazil, and Colombia. The Xbox maker is also increasing the monthly price of its Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription for the first time next month, which will see the base Game Pass subscription console move from $10.99 a month to up to $10.99 from basically it's going up $1, Scott.
No, that's not
horrible.
Game breaking.
Yeah, it's like $10.
Yeah,
right.
That is about 10% up though.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, right? There's not much you can do. Quote: "We've held on our prices for consoles for many years and have adjusted the prices to reflect the competitive condition in each market." End quote, says Kari, head of communication for Xbox, in a statement to The Verge. The Xbox Series X console pricing will largely match the price hike Sony announced for the PS5 last year. Well, I think we often forget now, right? Well, all of a sudden now we're getting into this new phase of, hey, Xbox is hiking up their prices. Did we also forget that PlayStation just did that last year? Like,
yeah,
like this shouldn't come as a big surprise. But here we are for Canadians, $649.99 in Canada for the Xbox, for the Xbox Series X. It is what it is. Prices are, it sucks, but they're not gonna. It's funny because most consoles go down, right? They don't normally kind of go up, but here we are.
Yeah,
They're going up right now instead.
There's the global inflation issue, and that explains a little bit of this. But it is a market that's competitive like any other. One of them will raise, and the others will follow. That's the argument for why we need an RC Cola in the Coke versus Pepsi argument. It's to keep the prices down for everybody. But it's unfortunate for myself, and just I'm dealing with a hardware issue with my Xbox. And I'm weird. Not certain if it's my TV, my Xbox, or what, but it's not the greatest time for me to have to look for a new console now.
Yeah, no. While Xbox Series X pricing adjustments have been expected after Sony's move last year, Xbox chief Phil Spencer also hinted in October that pricing for subscriptions wouldn't hold forever. So we all kind of knew it was coming, Scott. We just didn't know exactly when. Here it is. So get ready. If you can, buy a 12-month subscription right now for Game Pass. At least you're in early before the price goes up. It's only $1, which isn't too bad. But if you need a new Xbox, I highly recommend you go get that now, Scott. Just
yeah, well, it's perfectly after warranty, but
it never fails. Things always fall apart the day after your warranty expires, and it's like, it could have been yesterday when this didn't work. So yeah.
Well, I kicked myself thinking, well, it was a new Xbox console. Why didn't I get the extended warranty? Didn't I learn anything from the 360 era? But apparently not.
Red Ring of Death. Everybody remembers that one. Dude, EA's Magic FPS Immortals of Aveum now releasing very close to Starfield. Oh boy, why are they doing this, Scott? Let's get into it.
This is a bold strategy, Cotton.
That's a wrong strategy. This is Kelsey over VG247. Immortals of Aveum, the ambitious FPS magic shooter from Obsidian Studios, has been delayed to August 22nd. The game was initially set to launch on July 20th, but the studio has announced that it needs a little bit more time for polish. That is no big surprise. But the surprise factor is your new release date, knowing how close you are to Starfield, that boggles my mind, Scott. In a statement shared on the website, Brett and the team state that, quote, your reaction to Immortals of Aveum over the past few weeks have been incredibly inspiring. As you know, this is our first game as a self-funded independent studio. We set out 5 years ago to ambitiously make an original Magic FPS in a new fantasy world. Along the way, we worked through a pandemic, built a new team, developed on Unreal Engine 5.1, and pushed the boundaries of what we thought was possible. Now, the finish line is in sight, end quote. Brett and the team continued, quote, the recent feedback to the game proves to us what we already felt, that Immortals of Aveum is something special. In order to realize our full vision, we are going to take a few extra weeks making the new launch date Tuesday, August 22nd. This will give us time to further polish the game, finish optimizing all platforms, and deliver a strong launch. We owe it to ourselves and to you to get it right, end quote. Scott, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate the transparency of being, hey, you know what? We just need a little bit more time. The biggest problem is you're in the wake of Starfield. Like, man, Starfield is just going to be a couple weeks out. Immortals of Aveum will get played for probably 2 weeks. And then it's done, dude.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be an incredibly long of a life cycle to it, but perhaps they haven't really calculated much of longevity to the game anyways. I'm not sure if we've seen anything in terms of extended content, any sort of service to the game at all. I'm really not full on details when it comes to this title. Maybe 2 weeks isn't a terribly short amount of time for it.
No, I don't think it is. I think at the end of the day, you'll get in there, you'll play the story, and then you're going to bounce, right? Most gamers nowadays, especially now, never finish a game to start with. Like, that's the other side of it too, right? Nobody, practically, I think it's like 60% of gamers never finished the single player story. That's unfortunate, right? Like, that's very unfortunate. Especially for a brand new studio like Ascendiant, who's coming out and which looks like a solid game. Dude, I'm impressed by what I've seen, but I thought July 20th was the right time, right? It's all about picking your time and getting so close to Starfield. People only have so much money and have so much time. So when they're already
Yeah.
saving for Starfield come September 6th, you kind of question if they're going to be able to purchase Immortals at the same time and then get ready 2 weeks later to get into Starfield. It's unfortunate.
Some people are going to make that decision away from Avium, and that's unfortunate.
Yep.
You're right.
No, absolutely. It's good to know, though, that the team has worked on games like Call of Duty, right? The Walking Dead, the Telltale series. They do have a pedigree of great developers already in the studio, so expect a solid game. But at the same time, it's just the release date. Oh, boy.
A botched launch, though, would absolutely kill it. So I do respect that decision. Yeah.
Would you think, though, if that's the case, and now this could get into the whole other side of it, too, right? When it comes to investors and all that kind of stuff, you have to hit a date at some point. But wouldn't you be better off waiting until October? Or maybe even December?
Perhaps.
Right? October, though, you get into Spider-Man. Like, at this point, there is no safe date for the rest of the year, right? Like, it's just, when it's a brand new IP, like Immortals of Aveum, where you have to literally prove yourself of what's capable and what's going to work. Is it going to happen? I don't know, but time will tell. I'm excited to play it. We'll find out if it's any good, I guess, in a matter of time. I have heard early impressions that it is coming off rather strong. It is rather impressive for what they've been getting into. So that is cool. Hopeful, yeah. Scott. Dude, another showcase, because we haven't seen enough of them lately. Xbox announces yet another not E3 showcase. This is Dustin over at Games Radar. As if 3 broadcasts on the E3 2023 schedule weren't enough, Microsoft somehow has more games to show and will be doing just that with the indie-focused ID at Xbox showcase on July 11th. As Xbox says in a tweet, quote, big news, ID at Xbox and IGN are joining forces to exclusively present the next ID at Xbox showcase on July 11th. Get a first look at some of the new games, including trailers, gameplay, reveals, and more, end quote. Look for the stream to be at July 11th at 1 p.m. Eastern. Scott? Are you nervous? Excited for this one? What are your thoughts? ID at Xbox, you kind of... There's a couple that they've done in the past that were like 3 hours long. I'm like, that's exhausting. I remember watching that one with you. So hopefully they keep it short and concise, because they did their main showcase, which was strong. Then they did the extended showcase, which was, I thought, actually really strong as well. So hopefully they keep that momentum going.
Yeah, I'm not certain what we're going to see out of the ID at Xbox crowd, but generally I've had some good interest, some good games come out of there. I'm wondering if it's a little too much, though. Are we all filled up on E3? Well, after the Nintendo Direct, I'm not sure how much hunger is left for it.
Dude, yeah. No, I am curious to see what they're going to bring on the ID at Xbox side, right? That is the indie showcase that they always do each and every year. So it is exciting to see what indies are working on. Probably things we haven't seen. And it's some of the smaller titles that slip through the cracks when you do bring them over to a bigger showcase. So let's give them their own spotlight with the ID at Xbox showcase and see what we get over there. And I'm going to check it out. Definitely going to check it out, because you never quite know. Dude, we've played some incredible indie stuff lately. So hopefully we keep that fire burning. I'm pretty excited.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to forget them. You don't want to mess them over.
Oh, man, there's just so many games. Oh, wow. There's so much to talk about all the time. I love it. Dude, Quake 2 Remastered has been rated. Tom Ivan over VGC. You ready for this one? Quake 2 Remastered has been rated, suggested Bethesda is planning to release an enhanced version of id Software's classic FPS. Let's see. That, as spotted by Gemetsu, the unannounced title has been classified by South Korea Game Rating and Administration Committee. The same body classified that remastered version of the original Quake ahead of its official announcement and release during QuakeCon 2021. There you go. After 3 years of digital-only shows, QuakeCon is returning as an in-person event this year and will run on August 10th to the 13th. Scott, expect to see it there. You think?
Oh, I think so. That'd be a great time. It'd be a great time to reveal it. And Quake #1, kind of retouched, was pretty nice to see. That was a bit of a surprise.
There you go. You excited for 2?
I'm fingers crossed, ready for the Quake soft reboot. In the same thing that we got out of Doom. That's what I want to see out of Quake. But this is one step along that trail.
Yeah, time will tell. If I'm sure we'll get it. I'm sure. You think we'll get anything new in the world of Quake though, or do you think that it's off to other stuff like with Doom and
Oh,
things? Right?
that's what I mean. That's what I want. I want the Doom 2016 to happen, but for Quake, where they kind of just reinvent it for the next
Sure.
generation.
Ah,
When
fair.
was the last Quake game? Quake 4 on
Oh
360.
man, yeah. And rest in peace
that
the,
was
the Quake tournament stuff.
Oh yeah, that's coming after this one though. Hey, Quake 3 after, please, Arena.
Yeah, you never quite know. Scott, we do have a couple releases today. What do we have, buddy?
We have Harmony, The Fall of Reverie, and that's on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and a small little title you may have heard rumblings of. This is Final Fantasy 16 on PlayStation 5.
Again, I just reviewed that. Our review went live yesterday. Check it out over at youtube.com/InsideTheGameOfficial, as well as InsideTheGame.ca, and this week's episode of Inside the Game across TV streaming networks everywhere. So there's a lot to talk about. My actual review is 9 minutes long, and it's just me, which is saying something. I had a lot to say, and still a lot I didn't get to say. And that's the biggest thing, Scott. I walked away and went, man, I still could have talked about this and this and this and this and this. It is
Hey,
a
maybe it's worth doing
showstopper.
an extended.
Possible. That is very possible, but I'm on to 10 other games already. So we'll see if that ever comes around, right? But yeah, I can't believe it. Final Fantasy 16 blew me away. I knew I was excited, but then when I got in, dude, it took me down a whole rabbit hole I was not anticipating getting into, and I'm still thinking about it now after wrapping things up. Like it's such a cool game. Well done by Square and the team over there to get that one out, and I think it's pretty well beloved by everybody. We saw some of the numbers coming in yesterday. People were, I think the lowest I saw was like a 9 kind of thing, or an 8.5 actually. So one you definitely got to check out. Scott, you gonna check it out when you get a PlayStation?
Oh, it's certainly on the list. Yeah, the list grows every day, every week, every month. It's been too long already.
The backlog just keeps growing, right? Just never ending. There's always something else coming around the corner. But yeah, there's always lots to talk about. So make sure you join us each and every day live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on Twitch, YouTube, InsideTheGame.ca, all that good stuff. But until tomorrow, everybody, thanks again for joining. This has been ITG Daily, the hottest place for all your latest news. I'm Drew. That's Scott. We'll see you tomorrow inside the game.